if you're thinking of killing yourself, here's a few things to consider. I know this is a heavy topic, and when many people who feel suicidal ask others for support, they just get the sappy, same old things. Oh, your life is valuable, or Jesus loves you. Don't kill yourself. Jesus loves you. Or how would your family feel about that? Your worth, your life is worth living, and just the sappy old things. Well, here is a few things to actually consider for one who's going through that, because I've been through that. And think about, you have all these people who trying to enforce dogmas, trying to enforce, you should be here because you're worth something. You should be here because someone loves you. Well, think about what you actually want, outside of all these attachments, outside of all these, these dogmas and ways, and everything. Think about what, if I could just live one last day, what would I truly want? And I know for me, that has helped keep me alive. It's helped keep me alive. It's and if you think about it, then it starts coming down to, what is my core purpose? What is my core purpose? What my core thing that makes me passionate? And what is an experience, a spiritual way of meditating that can help center me towards who I truly am, outside of what everyone's trying to influence me and stir me into, and it's good to just take distance from that and be involved with those groups of people who are actively, doing things that spark that passion selflessly. Like, for example, socialist Marxists, who their efforts are communal, communalism, communism, going against capitalist selfish intentions that drive people, make people empty and feel empty inside, or spiritual, like ashrams or monasteries that, where there's a loving intention of finding ourselves and finding truth, this pursuit of truth. And how can, or artistic purposes, like wanting to craft something that can truly show people something unique, that, or outside of, or raising awareness to what's wrong with society, or the people, our relationships, how sincere and depthful they are, like that, and the whole challenging the ego, challenging, our attachments between one another, and truly finding out who the other is and having an experience of love. These things can help keep us alive. If from that, if we really think about what we really want, that can be, and pursue that, and always have a spiritual center to go back to finding truth, who we are and what's the nature of existence. If we keep on that track and we have support, then we'll never have to fall into that misery, that shallow misery of the mind, and of this selfish society who's trying to influence us to also be selfish, and influence us that they're actually right, or have know what right living is like. A lot of the capitalists. So for anyone who's considering suicide, I know what it's like to feel like all you want to do is slit your wrist, because there's nothing else meaningful in life that can replace it. And you see the fakeness in the world. Pursue what is real. Be with those who are real, because we can create so much more joy. Because inevitably, if we kill ourselves, it's common belief in many traditions that we'll have to be reincarnated or become ghosts. It's up to debate, whatever your belief is, but inevitably being with a group that is pursuing actively something that is challenging what is causing us to feel miserable in the first place can help free us from that temptation of wanting to die. So pursue that. Always look towards that. You know what I mean? It's not the sappy, oh, just be here because your family wants you here, because you're worth something. No, pursue beyond what's making us miserable, and be in alignment with those spiritual groups and missions. And I hope that you can feel better and emotionally release in love, or emotionally heal in love, and have a profound depth to your life that goes beyond that feeling of suicide, wanting to kill yourself. Shanti, shanti, shanti.